The one line that I was thinking of was when she goes through the pinata store, kills everybody using a shotgun in close quarters, which, if anybody has played Call of Duty, pretty fucking cowardly, cheap move.
Brunch.
Hit it, boys!
It's Monday, and people are dazzled.
By what?
I was dazzled this morning. This is an early brunch recording.
We've done some early episodes, but we usually, the way that usually goes is they say, hey, we'll do an early episode.
Yeah,
and
can you do
we'll
7:15?
Yeah.
Can you do 7:45? And then at like
11,
we're like, so when works?
I'm rolling over.
Yeah.
This is what? This is in the ass crack of dawn.
It is 9:19
Yes.
as I look at the clock. I was dazzled this morning. On my way over here, I stopped to grab some coffee. I see that we're both doing a little coffee.
I got a little Green Mountain going on.
So we've got the jolt that'll get you through your Monday here on The Blaze, WBRN.
DJ and the douche.
DJ and the boy here on WBOY the boy.
Speaking of which, I got called an old man on Twitter yesterday for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
I got called a grandpa.
Hell yeah.
It's like, hey, stay off Twitter, grandpa. I was like, wow.
I love when people... Twitter stinks, obviously. Twitter is the worst. Maybe my least favorite thing in the world. But I love when people are like, oh, well, everyone knows that you're just blank and it's something you've never heard before. Yeah. Like, someone has never told you that before. Like, every now and then I'll get like... oh, well, like, this isn't the first time that, like, DJ's, like, gone against the Patriots or something. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that reputation I have of being an anti-Patriots person. I have no reputation of caring strongly about anything sports-related.
Yes,
No one has ever been like,
that guy
DJ's
cares too
just
much.
stewing over there thinking about how he's going to take down the Patriots now.
So what were you dazzled by?
I was dazzled by, I went to get my Joe, and I went to a Dunkin' Donuts that I don't often go to. It's kind of near where I live, but I don't think I've ever been there. And it was like renovated. It was just the most modern, cool, polished Dunkin' Donuts I'd ever been in. It was like I was in a Dunkin' Donuts from the future, and as I was looking around, just totally being dazzled, I realized, no, this was just like the first time I've been to a Dunkin' Donuts before 8:30, so it was relatively clean, and it looked like a different fucking place. Like, it just like enough people hadn't been in Dunkin' Donuts yet that morning to ruin it, and I realized that whole don't talk to me till I have my coffee thing is a thing that like I like to mock.
Yeah.
But it's totally true, because just go into a Dunkin' Donuts at any point during the day, and it is the leavings behind of people who can't fucking handle their shit.
Yeah.
There's like spilled sugar packets all over. Who has ever spilled one of those packets
Like,
before?
how do you miss?
Right. How do you miss? There's just like gobs of sugar all over the floor, all over
straws everywhere.
Right. Like people haven't watched the straw tutorials. No one knows how to do anything. And that's just person after person after person who hasn't had their coffee before. So being in a Dunkin' Donuts that was like, I don't know, mopped within the last 4 hours was
unsettling.
Yeah, it was an eye-opening experience. I was dazzled. I was distracted. It was a pretty crazy experience. So to those early birds out there, if you're getting up early, maybe you're walking your dog, maybe you're getting the kids ready for school. I like the idea that people are listening to this while getting the kids ready for school. Neglect those things. Head over to your local Dunks, and you'll find that
it's a pretty different. Can feed himself.
It's a pretty different experience.
So I'm a little tired because I went to bed at 4 a.m. last night.
I did one of those too. Yeah, I'm not operating on much sleep.
I had to fucking. The Canadians traded Max Pacioretty at 1 a.m.
Yes,
fucking idiots.
That boosted me another like 2 hours. Like, are you ever going to sleep and you see whether it's like a bug or something that like kind of startles you?
Yeah.
And you're
Speaking
like,
of which, I saw a mouse at the movie theater this week. We'll get to that later. Active mouse.
oh my goodness,
We'll get to that.
are you okay?
I'm fine. I like handled it way better than I thought I would.
You're very brave.
I was just like, hey, this belongs to this guy as much as it does to me.
Yeah, you've been.
He lives here. I'm just visiting.
Right. Yeah. So we've been over. Did people hear that, or was that cut, or was that lost?
What?
The mouse and rat etiquette.
I don't know.
Was it? No, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the active
last
rat?
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we discuss
Is
that?
it callback humor if
nobody
no one
heard
ever
it?
got to hear it?
Maybe. Yeah. So yeah, I got a little extra kick too with the Pacioretty trade, and I'm exhausted.
You're doing what I do on that, by the way. I've seen your takes on the Pacioretty trade. You have a take that disagrees with a lot of people, and because it disagrees with a lot of people, you're going too far the other way.
I don't think so.
If
anything, I feel like I've walked it back a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like
So how did you start, and where are you now?
I originally started with LMFAO, like what the fuck is wrong with this team, over the Pacioretty trade.
That's always a correct and fair take with Bergevin.
Which like is as much a reaction to the fact that they actually traded Max Pacioretty as it is to the deal itself.
Yeah.
Like the deal itself, I think they did okay in terms of like
I
the
agree.
position that they put themselves in.
Mm-hmm.
But
they
bungled the entire situation and lost all the leverage. So like it's not the package that you would want for Max Pacioretty.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty close or similar package to what the Bruins got for Lucic, and obviously Pacioretty is better than
player.
Lucic.
Yes.
But Lucic was younger. Lucic was cheaper. So like there were things working in the favor of the Kings when they were getting Lucic. But like the Canadians at least got a good player whose contract isn't that bad, and they weren't going to sign Pacioretty. So it wasn't terrible. What's that? Yeah,
I think that deal hinges on
then
Suzuki.
flipping him. Whoa, yeah.
On Suzuki and how he pans out, because obviously he's pretty hyped, but also I think that Tatar might do well with the extra burn that he gets, because he's going to be like in their top 6,
right?
And if he does well and he produces, which he has in the past, and they could just flip him.
Yeah, he's way better. Like
they're going to. They have to sell at this point. Like at the deadline, they have to sell everybody.
Yeah.
To go for that number 1 pick.
I don't believe in doing that in the NHL, and I was pretty pro the Bruins doing it a few years ago, and I got talked into that's such a dicey game in the NHL, because it's, ask the Oilers, it's really hard to leave that, and like you can have the occasional season where you're like, okay, now they're on the up and up, and all it takes is one thing to go wrong, and then you're back to
at
shit.
the same time, I'd rather see a team that I root for do that and go for it and try to be as bad as possible in 1 year and just try to get like a franchise-changing player with the top overall pick, than to have no self-awareness and try to compete and think that you can be competitive when you're clearly not.
There is such a mess. I mean, people didn't like Chiarelli in Boston, but holy smokes, look at what Bergevin has done to the Canadians.
I know.
Man, oh man.
Yeah.
So that's just us flexing our muscles, showing what kind of juice we have when it comes to sports.
We should not be confident in our sports takes following last week's episode, in which you claimed that Nathan Peterman was good.
You know what? I've got a
Nathan Peterman heat check here.
Well, I've got an admission on Nathan Peterman.
Didn't watch him play.
No, I've got an admission. I am ready to admit that it might be time for a change of scenery for Nathan Peterman. That was the take I arrived at yesterday. I think he needs, you know what? It takes a big man to admit it. I think he needs a change of scenery.
Like, and by scenery, you mean career?
No, I think the Bills are the wrong team for Nathan Peterman.
Oh, man. That is the quickest turnaround in brunch history. It was like a 4-day thing.
I know. I'm still pro Nathan Peterman. I think he needs a change of scenery. I think he needs to get out of Buffalo.
We should do a new segment called like Pulling Receipts, in which one of us has to confront a thing that we had said in the past.
Okay. So mine would just mainly be ice cream related.
Right, yeah. But there's so many things that we could do for you. There's so many things that you've come around on.
Oh, that I've like changed my mind on?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It takes a big man to admit his mistakes, and I'm that big man, as Michael Scott once said. But I think it's good to come around on things.
Yeah, I agree.
In that moment, I didn't like ice cream, and
Right.
that was good for me. And that was
But you didn't get caught in a lie. You just have grown as a person.
yeah. I wasn't sneaking ice cream back then. I'm sneaking ice cream now, which is why I look different. Speaking of which, I'm about to get on that Pete workout plan.
Yeah, I know. I've gotten some requests for the Make DJ Wide Again workout plan.
Nice. How is it? I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it yet.
It's about to be revealed.
It's coming. It's gonna come today.
Have you listened to the Paul McCartney playlist I sent you?
I have not yet, but I'm going to.
I fretted over whether to go in chronological order or to shuffle it, and I was told put it in chronological order and let him shuffle it if he wants, which is a good move. But at the end of Abbey Road, which was the last album the Beatles recorded, not the last Beatles album that came out, Let It Be came out after, but the last album that the Beatles recorded, they were like, we really don't like each other, so this is probably it. And the end of the album, there's like a 6-song suite where they just kind of empty their tank, and it's this great thing, and a bunch of the songs run together, and it's amazing. So I put that on there. So if you shuffle it, that's going to get all jumbled, and you'll be like, hey,
just give
She
me
Came In Through the Bathroom Window is a really weird song. It seems like it's maybe missing a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, so just give me the brackets on that, and I'll listen to that in order.
Question, do you want me to make you a mini playlist as well? Because I find when getting someone into an artist, that
Ease them in?
Yeah. My sister one time was like, hey, who's Churches and who's all these people that you talking about? Can you make me some playlists of them? So I made her like a bunch of 4-song playlists because that's not daunting. The Paul McCartney playlist I made you is 50 songs long, and
It's like an LP.
right. And if people an LP
Is that a longer one? What's the short one?
EP is like 4 songs.
okay.
LP is like 10 to
Okay.
12 to a
an
million
EP.
or whatever. Yeah. Like that. I made you a 50-song playlist, and people will look at that and be like, "Oh, how did you leave off this song?" You can't make playlists that are a million songs long because no one will fucking.
Yeah,
listen to them.
I'll crack into it. I requested it, so
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to it before we head off to ACL next month. One thing that you wanted to talk about was gender reveals.
Yes.
You have an idea, apparently.
I have an idea. Yeah. I think that you shouldn't have to have a kid to do gender reveals.
Explain.
Just exactly that. I think that we're creative people and we could come up with some better gender reveals than are happening now. And gender reveals have now reached the point where it's just an excuse to do fucking ridiculous shit. Like the thing where the big ass...
The baby that burst out of the box or whatever it was.
Amazing.
That was crazy.
Would this be a problematic gender reveal? A piñata, and when the piñata breaks, baby in whatever colors falls out.
Like babies of certain races?
No.
No.
Like a piñata, like the piñata breaks and the baby falls out, and then it's just like, boom, like baby bounces once or twice. It's
like,
a doll, obviously.
Yeah, but it's like a ceramic doll, so it just shatters once it hits the ground.
It shatters, and then smoke of whatever color
it's just blood.
comes
It's like a blue or pink blood.
Yes. That would be amazing. And
no, we should do like we could also do one where you ever see the video of the ice cream cake that looks like a dog, and then they cut off like its head, and it just it's just like dissolves into ice cream. We could do that and just have like a and we just have like a baby cake and we chop its head off and then the inside of the baby, whatever it is.
Okay, nothing that looks like it's harming
murdering
babies.
a baby.
Yeah, nothing that makes it look like we're harming babies. Although, if someone were to do a gender reveal that looked like it was harming a baby, wouldn't you rather it be people who aren't actually having a baby?
Yes, that's true. It's a good point. My idea was that we should have tender reveal parties.
Yeah,
And
that was a bad idea, but
It's a great idea. It's just a party in which everybody gathers and they're not sure why, and then at the end of it, we just reveal that, hey, everybody gets chicken tenders.
so you're kind of onto something there where it reveals something that sounds like gender reveal. So if you know that it's going to be chicken tenders, then there's a kind of a point of diminishing returns there. But if you reveal somebody who's on a bender, or you reveal somebody ripping a Fender guitar, then there's some excitement there. A Mender reveal party where it's just like a guy with a tool belt, and he's like, "Oh,
Who do I
you
gotta
need something
fix?"
fixed? Yeah, I should be able to handle that job."
What if it's a Mender reveal party and it's just a fucking it's just an intervention?
Yes.
It's one person that it's just, hey, we got you a psychiatrist. We got you this help.
Speaking of which, I was with some bros the other day, and we were talking about friends that we don't see as much anymore, and we were talking about how we can force them to hang out. And I was like, oh, interventions. Say that like we're having an intervention for one of us, and then they'll have to show up.
Way.
And is that
So you can't lie about having an intervention.
so? That was the question.
No, you can't do that. That's problematic for sure.
It's problematic, but it would be good news that it's not an intervention.
Yeah, but that's like that's just like hey, I have cancer.
It's like the Michael Scott,
I have
911
I have
is the
terminal
only way
cancer.
to-
Want to hang out.
You don't have interventions for cancer.
Yeah, but it's like you're forcing somebody to hang out with you because you're making them
Dude,
feel
face
bad.
it, you're sick.
Oh God. Fuck. We have a Zac Efron heat check.
Yes, we do.
That movie in which he does the weird beard thing is there's finally a trailer for it. There's a first look. He's apparently like not a huge part of that movie, it seems. That's way more of a Matthew McConaughey movie.
That's is that the movie where the kid is going to be a gangster?
No, that's White Boy Rick, which comes out this week, and it looks amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, I want to see that.
this one's called The Beach Bum.
Okay.
And it's just basically Matthew McConaughey is a guy who does whatever the fuck he wants.
Okay.
And just like has really no direction in life, it seems. The Adventures of Moondog, a beach bum and lovable rogue who lives life on his own terms.
So it's I Love You Man, but they only follow Sidney Flavin.
Yes. The cast is pretty fucking awesome. It's Zac Efron, Isla Fisher, whatever. Matthew McConaughey, Snoop Dogg, Jonah Hill.
Okay.
So I'm very interested in this movie. And
When does it come
Martin
out?
Lawrence is also in it, and
Nice.
Jimmy Buffett.
Haven't heard from Martin Lawrence in a
I
minute.
know he looks a little fluffy,
Oh,
for
really?
being honest. But yeah, this movie looks. It
He's
looks
got
like it
that
could actually-
Jeffrey Owens Trader Joe's look.
Yes. Oh, we never talked about that, but what a fucked up situation that entire thing was.
I was so mad because A, I love Jeffrey Owens. B, that it's so upsetting that the person who put that out there and all the
Huge
outlets
asshole.
that published it had to fucking know they're about to get crushed.
Yeah. And he was, and like
In today's day and age of you're not allowed to do anything mean or anything that someone might think could possibly be mean,
yeah.
you definitely can't do
That's for
anything
sure
that is
mean.
obviously
Yes.
mean. Like, there's no debate there that shaming somebody for fucking working is totally unacceptable. Even 1,000 years ago, people would be like, "Hey, fuck
fucked
you,
up.
that's
He has a
mean."
job.
Right?
Yeah, it was that entire thing was basically just like, hey, look at this guy who used to be an actor. He has a
Well, he's still an actor.
Well, yeah. Well, look at this struggling actor
Yeah.
who also has a second job. Ew, gross.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, I'm just working.
Yes.
It was like the saddest thing ever. Stop being fucking mean to that guy.
I mean, a lot of bands that we listen to, a lot of actors that we like, have side jobs just
Right.
because you don't hear about it. And it's not a lot of people, I'm sure, are willing to broadcast it, which is why a lot of actors came out. Stacey Oristano from Friday Night Lights was like, hey, here's how I spent my summer. And she was talking about how she was like a camp counselor and shit like that. Like, what do you do you think that just because
It's like you've
been in
in
shit,
one
you get
thing,
like
you're rich
royalty
forever?
checks
Yes.
forever? And especially, I mean, it's not like Cosby Show's syndication
It's not on the up
crushing it
right now.
which is very upsetting. And we can get into that conversation any time of whether you can still watch the Cosby Show. My answer is yes, because a lot of people like Jeffrey Owens, like Felicia Rashad, like Malcolm Jamal Warner, Tempest Bledsoe, so many great actors were in it that obviously you don't want to support one monster, but like, look at all these other people who did such a great job. And it upset me because Jeffrey Owens, if you've seen him in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, is more than willing to make fun of the fact that, hey, I'm not exactly in shit anymore, where he plays Donovan McNabb. And they're like, that's not Donovan McNabb, that's Alvin from the Cosby Show. And then he has to run away. One of the best self-aware cameos maybe in the history of anything. Side note, I don't know what people's reactions were to the new episode of It's Always Sunny, but it was fucking terrible. It was really bad. Did you watch it?
No.
It was bad. I don't know if people liked it or what.
Is that I haven't seen it, but I've feel like I've only seen good things. Like, people are dick riding.
Weird.
Always Sunny at this point.
It was really, really bad. Mindy Kaling was in the whole episode. It's rare that I don't love something that Mindy Kaling does. I more or less stan her, but it was bad. Yeah. But the whole Jeffrey Owens thing, very, very upsetting.
I also thought that it was weird that Nicki Minaj just was like, hey, I'm going to give him $25,000.
Yeah, if you saw his Good Morning America thing, he was like, no thank you. Don't
cool.
need the charity.
Yeah, that's I feel like that's anybody, any like self-respecting person would just be like, I don't want this.
Right, and he
like
said,
I never got the impression that he wanted any charity through any of this.
Right.
He was just like, hey, I'm working.
And
I'm trying to earn myself a living.
And like, while it's cool that he's working at Trader Joe's and doing whatever he can for his family, he's like, I don't worry about how that guy's gonna do. He's super bright. He's I think that he teaches Shakespeare at a college, so like, it's not like he's fucking dying.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
not like he's dying or living on the streets or
Right.
like trying to overcome like an addiction that's kind
Right.
of crippling his life. He seems like he has it together. He has 2 jobs.
Right. And so he was like, yeah, I obviously would love auditions.
Yeah.
I don't want things just handed to me. Although he did accept Tyler Perry's job offer. He's going to be in 10 episodes of one of Tyler Perry's shows.
But that's an acting job.
Right.
That's
That's not-
something that he wants to do.
That's not like a Kickstarter for,
yeah.
hey,
Nicki Minaj is just like, here, take this check, you poor man.
right. Which
I mean,
is,
like, it's like a kind-hearted gesture, I guess, on Nicki Minaj's part. Like, I bet her heart was in the right place.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's insulting to offer charity to somebody who really doesn't need it or want it.
Right. I mean, and if I had a shitload of money like Nicki Minaj does and money that I could just give away, like an actor that I really like who isn't doing so great would not be in the top 1 million.
Yeah.
Like, I love Jeffrey Owens, and if I had some money to burn, I'd be like, what's hot with ALS research? Like, what can we do about Alzheimer's? Shit like that.
Yeah.
So Jeffrey Owens, I feel like I don't know how big the brunch fan, Cosby Show fan crossover is, but I'm obsessed with Cosby Show. Grew up on it, loved it so much. Have that goddamn guitar painted like a Cosby sweater that I can never show anybody because turns out that Cosby guy was an asshole. But
Allegedly. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
God.
I'm just kidding.
There's a problem.
What is it?
That by 35, 66% of men lose their hair. It's gone. You don't know where it is. and there's nobody on the case. Oh, wait, someone is on the case. Hims is. And by the time you notice hair loss, it's too late. Hims is on the case, though. So, if your hairline's starting to go away, don't worry. We got Hims on the case. A year from now, if your hair looks bad, you'll be mad. But if a year from now, Hims has done its thing, then you'll be happy. So, go to forhims.com. It's a one-stop shop for hair loss, skin care, and sexual wellness for men.
Problematic.
Yes, very problematic. Imagine having sexual wellness.
Hey, selfish lover much?
It says to speak from experience here, but we can't. Don't know anything about sexual wellness. So, I'm here to motivate you, the audience. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. So, let For Hims take care of it. So easy. Answer
Even
a few
a dog
quick questions. Doctor will review and can prescribe you. And if you want them shipped to you, they can ship them directly to your door.
Oh,
right? You go to your door.
They bring the doctor to your door.
There is going to be him at your door. So
I just like to.
I'm going to call you, the audience, to action. My listeners, Pete's as well, get a trial month of For Hims for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last. See website for details. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Not the doctor that's going to be at your door. It's going to be less that way. So go to Hims. Go to forhims.com/brunch. That's forhims.com/brunch. forhims.com/brunch.
No snake oil. Also, hurry up and order now because there are just a bunch of doctors in a warehouse waiting to be shipped to your door.
For Hims, it's sexual. Oh, speaking of which, should we voice the tweet that I didn't know whether or not I could send? When Mac Miller died, I wanted to know whether or not I could tweet, Jesus, people, leave Ariana Grande alone. Let her have her day in court like everybody else.
Oh man, we've decided recently that we're going in on the death thing. When Burt Reynolds died, we were like, rest in peace, Burt Reynolds, who is now dead, and with a picture of Turd Ferguson.
That was
yeah.
The joke is obviously that death isn't funny. But let's see if maybe it can be.
Yeah.
We're obviously not mocking the person who's dead.
Right.
We're not making fun of the person who's dead. You shouldn't have to even explain it.
No, definitely not. But I was not going to touch the Mac Miller thing. That was very, very sad.
Yeah.
And not that the Burt Reynolds death isn't sad, but it's not quite as tragic as somebody dying at age 26.
Right. I'm more into making fun of the idea that people react to Mac Miller dying and being like, huh. Let's explore the Ariana Grande angle.
I mean, that whole thing is so
she's got to go to his fucking wake and funeral, you assholes.
Yeah, no shit. And it's also I've been shook. I was shook by the Mac Miller death. Mm-hmm. I've been shook by a lot of deaths of people that are sort of at arm's length. Not that Mac Miller was at arm's length or anything, but people that I know and have interacted with, but not necessarily good friends with or something. But when you find out that somebody that you've interacted with or had a few times with has died at a young age.
Did you interact with Mac Miller?
No.
Okay.
But I'm just saying that's what I was saying. But even if you have a friend of a friend who dies, that sort of shakes you to your core when they die at age 26.
Yeah.
So for Ariana Grande, for a person that she was very, very close with, dated for I think 3 or 4 years, to have that person die at age 26 at such a young age in such a tragic way, that has got to be the most fucking difficult thing to cope with in the world.
Especially when it was a lover and you're going to marry the person that's in the next relationship.
Right. And it was a very quick transition.
Right.
It is a very weird situation. That is such a difficult thing to cope with, I would assume, especially for Ariana Grande, because obviously you're very, very sad about Mac Miller. Obviously you loved Mac Miller.
Yeah.
But you are now dating somebody else who also has sort of his issues. So that's got to be like a very sensitive thing to navigate.
That should do it for the death talk. Nope. Let's talk about Peppermint, a movie that is, well, it was terrible and amazing and all these things. What did you think of the movie?
I thought it was a bad movie, but it did keep my attention.
Yes.
It was somewhat entertaining. Sort of I wouldn't say hate watch, but
it was hilariously bad.
Yeah, it was amusingly sort of cliche and like just there's things that you can laugh at but also like enjoy at the same time.
Here's the perfect description of the movie, and I tweeted something similar to it, but I've refined it. It's law-abiding citizen, and halfway through it, it realizes how absurd its dialogue is and says, all right, so then I might as well just be John Wick now. And the first half of the movie is exactly law-abiding citizen. The second half of the movie is exactly John Wick. And that's kind of it. And it's terrible. I liked so many things about how bad it was, though.
It was also you say law-abiding citizen, I say Death Wish.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the exact same fucking plot.
Yeah. Like, in that the person comes out of the coma
it's just like
or whatever.
Yeah, it's just like a fucking revenge porn movie. And I think that we've talked about this before, but like it even touches on the same fucking things and has like the exact same scenes as the new Death Wish movie where they're like, "Hey, social media is talking about how this person." That was I think that was maybe the worst scene in this movie.
That was one of the more absurd things. A news outlet is reporting that anonymous Twitter users are speculating some shit.
And like
the world will never reach that point where the news is some fucking person I don't know tweeted this. I don't know if you guys I don't know what you guys think about that or if you want to take this seriously, but a person is saying this, so that's what people are going to think now. We're just the news. We only inform what people think. Let's throw random tweets on here. But yeah, it was the worst dialogue of
it was so
any
bad.
movie I've ever seen.
And it was so bad, and also I'm gonna stand by this, a little bit racist. There was stuff coming out.
There were a lot of stereotypes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was like this seemed like a movie that was written about the Mexican cartel that was written by a white person that just only went based off of like Mexican stereotypes.
Oh my god. Well, the depiction of a lot of the scenes with these gangsters were so like a fucking fourth grader wrote it after seeing Scarface. And there's a scene early in the movie where it's Jennifer Garner has had a husband and a daughter, and the husband is led into this, or is told about a scheme. Yeah, a little scheme he can be involved in that's very safe. He's told all he has to do is drive. It's this easy plan. It's fine, and they'll make a lot of money. The scheme is two people who are not criminals are going to rob the baddest fucking gangster in all of the land, who has thousands and thousands of people working underneath him, and all the guy has got to do is drive. Easy peasy. What could go wrong? Cut to...
I wish they went into depth into what that fucking plan was. Right. How they were going to do that.
Right. So cut to that guy in a chair surrounded by all the people he's planning to rob, with the head guy saying, of course, "You thought you were gonna rob me? You thought that you thought you were gonna get away with it, huh? You just thought you could rob me? Oh yeah? Well, I'm not gonna let you rob me. You're not gonna get away with it."
See, the movie would have been better if the guy was actually like that. We had like a little flamboyancy to him.
Yeah.
He was just like the most average, stereotypical, like, "Ooh, I'm a tough guy."
It's the play in Arrested Development. Have you seen that? The trial of Captain Hook.
No.
They often show flashback to when Michael was in a play called I think it was called The Trial of Captain Hook, and it's a musical about them catching Captain Hook and putting him on trial, and they always play this one song that it's his solo. It's "You're a crook, Captain Hook. Judge, won't you throw the book at the pot?" And then it gets cut off. That's what it is. It's like a bad kids play that doesn't exist. So after this 41-minute scene of this bad guy saying, "You're not gonna rob me," they kill that guy, and then they kill the other guy,
Jennifer Garner's husband,
By
the way, didn't actually agree to do the plan.
Right.
He was like, "No, I'm good. Seems like a very dumb plan, you fucking idiots."
He was just told about it, and then they kill them both. So Jennifer Garner, pissed about that, they as happens in Law Abiding Citizen, no one saw nothing. Everybody gets away with it. Everybody's corrupt. And then
Jennifer Garner actually did see it happen, which is ridiculous because she was about 60 feet away and she was able to identify 3 or 4 people in the car from the gang.
Right.
But I did laugh out loud at the identification scene where they brought in all the guys in a lineup and she had to pick them out of the lineup. It was just the guy with the face tattoo in every lineup.
Yes.
It was just like a bunch of Mexican guys, and she just picked out the one with the face tattoo in every situation.
Yes. So they all get away with it, and then she starts killing everybody like he does in Law Abiding Citizen. Yet they show a lot of these deaths. They don't show the one death that you really want to see, which is the lawyer comes to visit her and tries to pay her off. And she says no. She says, "Get out of my house." And then when they're having a hearing to see if it can go to trial, they're like, "Oh, nope, nothing, can't go to trial. Nope, there's insufficient evidence, blah, blah." And she's like, "Hey, that fucking guy came to see me and tried to pay me off." And they're like, "Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, bye-bye."
Yeah, I mean, the courtroom scene was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was insane. They end up tasing her at the end of it, which I thought was hilarious.
Right, they're like, "Look, relax, you fucking crazy lady."
It's like this lady just had her fucking family murdered, and she got a little emotional in court when they let all the guys go free.
Yep.
And they were like, "Hey, lady, what the fuck is wrong with you?"
Which leads us to a great John Gallagher Jr. line, which is exactly what you just said. Like, "Hey, everybody, back off. You just saw our fucking family get murdered, and then we all just let everybody leave." And everyone in the courtroom's like,
"Yeah,
we know. we were here." John Gallagher Jr., by the way, does the Henry Cavill facial hair and shows us it can look bad.
I don't know. I thought it was okay.
So John Gallagher Jr., they do use one great device with John Gallagher Jr. He's a cop, and he's kind of there the whole way. So he's part of when they arrest these guys, and he's part of, they do a 5 years later thing when she's coming back and killing everybody.
I like that they made him like a lot more disheveled.
Yes.
5 years later.
So here's what's cool. John Gallagher Jr. plays a dirty cop. He's dirty the whole time. It's a twist. And when they do the 5 years later thing, they show him pouring booze in his coffee. So you think, man, he's really depressed. This
he's
ate
really
him
bent
up.
Out of shape.
Right.
Yeah.
This ate him up that they didn't take down these people. And he's told, like, "Hey, don't fuck with the cartel, man. Like, this isn't worth it. Just really don't double down here." So cut to 5 years later, he's drinking. It's just because he's an alcoholic.
Yeah. And also probably like is like probably a shitty person who has to deal with like that.
The fact that he's bad. Yeah.
Yes.
So he's
I thought that was okay.
Right.
Do you know what that guy's from?
Everything. He's from the Belko Experiment?
Yeah,
but he's mainly from the Newsroom.
I didn't watch the Newsroom, but I was going to see if you knew that he was from the Belko Experiment.
Oh, yeah. He's the main guy in Belko
I know,
Experiment.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah. His, John Gallagher Jr., he's in a few other things. Yeah. So he does the Henry Cavill facial hair. They use alcoholism almost as a red herring. Pretty cool move on their part.
One thing that I noticed in this movie, they use the term "get dead" a lot.
They also they call her a bitch.
Oh,
the whole time.
so much.
All they do is call her a bitch.
The head cartel guy, like the worst thing that he does in this movie is just call her a bitch a lot, and then also cut a guy's head off.
Yes, they
they're like, you bitch.
So I don't use that word, but she's not being a bitch.
No,
like
she's just being an inconvenience.
Right, like you killed all the people in her life and then didn't pay for it.
They even used the Spanish term for bitch.
What?
Puto. Isn't that bitch?
I don't know.
Okay. I thought that it was.
How do you say bitch in
maybe
pera? Oh no, yeah, cuz perro is dog.
Yeah.
So pera is yeah, I don't think that they say that a lot. I think that bitch.
No,
I think that
in
Spanish
Mexico
people are
it
more
is used
progressive.
for cowards and traitors.
What, puto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know that. I didn't think that it was bitch.
All right, we'll get that out.
Yeah, they're progressive. They don't say that word. So yeah, but they show all these deaths, like she kills the judge and all that stuff, but they don't show her kill that fucking lawyer.
Yeah, that's true. Did they say that
they
she killed
say
him?
they say that she killed him.
Yeah,
but they just kind of gloss over it.
Yeah, they skip like a few deaths. But yeah, I mean, like it felt weird because she was super aggressive in her like murders of a bunch of these people. Like the judge one, felt a little aggressive.
Yes,
she blew him up in his living room.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like she just like really jumped to conclusions there.
Well, that's what law-abiding citizen does too. Like,
they turn him into the bad
rationale
guy.
is out the window. Like she becomes a bad guy.
Yeah, but at least in law-abiding citizen, like they recognize that Gerard Butler is becoming a psychopath.
Right.
Like she's made out to be the good person throughout this entire thing.
There's a real debate on social media, as the news reports, whether like she's a vigilante is it a good thing or is it a bad thing?
One of the things that I also laughed about was that she like infiltrates one of their headquarters, which is a shop that they're running.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know, the cartel owns like these storefronts to launder their money and stuff like that and hold their operations out of. So what should they make that be for this movie?
A piñata shop.
It could be anything. But since this was written by definitely a white person who has no idea, and just can only go by Mexican stereotypes, they made it a piñata shop.
Yes. They the news is like a woman has burned down a piñata shop and also a taqueria.
Yes. It's like if you wanted to maybe steer clear of being accused of being insensitive and sort of racist, probably not the two stores that you want to go with here.
Do you know what this movie has some tinges of? I'm realizing fucking 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
How so?
Where like she's not a good guy.
Yeah.
You know, like there's similar to Law-Abiding Citizen, where
she's
just
also
because
not a good character. Like,
oh no, well
at least in 3 billboards, she was like a good deep character. Yeah.
But there's once it does cross over into being John Wick, there are some bangers of lines. Specifically 2. One, she sees a bad alcoholic father mistreating her son.
Which also sort of a dick move. She sees like a alcoholic father like fall asleep on his son and then just like deliver like one sort of asshole line to the kid, and she sticks a gun down his throat.
Right. She puts a gun down his throat, takes his ID, memorizes where he lives, and she's like, so you're going to stop drinking, right? You're going to be a good father? You're going to go buy him some toys? And he's like, yes. And she goes, okay, I will never, ever forget you. And she says it like a parent.
Yeah.
And that's hilarious. That got a laugh in the movie theater. I
hope this one is the one that I'm thinking of.
Of course. It's there's a terrible mom
Oh,
that
nope,
is.
nope.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So there's a terrible mom that is really mean to her daughter, and she late in the movie goes to that mom's house because she needs it. She needs the phone for something.
First aid.
Oh yeah, right. That's it. Yeah, she needs first aid. She ties up the asshole mom, and as she's walking out, she says, "Now I'm going to burn down your house with you in it." And the mom is like screaming.
At that point in the movie, I was like, holy fuck,
Right.
they're really steering into her being like a fucking psychopath.
Right. And then, like, under her breath, she's like, "I'm just kidding." And
Yeah, I thought
walks
that was
out
kinda funny.
as the mom is like, no. So fucked up, but
Yeah,
hilarious.
But it's very funny. The one line that I was thinking of was when she goes through the pinata store, kills everybody using a shotgun in close quarters, which, if anybody has played Call of Duty, pretty fucking cowardly, cheap move. Yeah. You're cheating there. So she goes through all the guys and gets to the head guy that she wants at the pinata store, and she's like, "Hey, you're not busy, are you? Can I have a second of your time?"
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Classic. And then she kills him and says, "Clean up on aisle pinata."
Bath time, shithead.
Bath time, shithead. We should be able to toss that on to every movie scene. Like, every time someone kills someone, bath time, shithead.
Random dose of Method Man in this movie.
Yeah,
Very
Method
out of
Man is a
nowhere.
late addition. They really the reinforcements in this movie is very interesting. Once they turn it into being John Wick, they're like, "Hey, who's a musician that we can throw in here who sometimes acts a la Common? How about Method Man?"
You know who? Method Man in this movie is, or Method Man is to this movie what Jin Yang is to the Happy Time Murders.
In it for 1 second.
Yeah, and like
cop.
is a cop and is just like, "Oh, I know that guy," and then that's
Yeah.
it.
The good news is the movie for sure sets up a sequel, which, given that this is a 13% on Rotten
I was
Tomatoes.
going to ask you what you thought it was
Yeah.
on Rotten Tomatoes. I would give it significantly more than like a 13.
It was
bad.
thoroughly a bad movie.
I would say I've seen way worse movies like in this sort of genre.
Honestly, it's the first half that makes it bad. Because you can't tell in the first half whether or not it's aware of how bad it is.
Yeah.
The second half, it totally knows how bad it is,
I don't
and it's
think
hilarious.
so either.
Oh, really?
I don't think the second half. I think that they just like sort of fucked up so much on the second half that it happened to be funny and look like they steered into it. I don't know if that was intentional at all. This movie seemed like it just thoroughly took itself very, very seriously.
I don't know. I think there's enough. It's maybe I got used to how ridiculous it was in the second half, but yeah,
This entire movie felt like it was like a bunch of like it was generated by a racist computer that just like it just put all these like gangster revenge movies into a formula and have this racist computer spew out a script for just like a very generic one starring a woman, and they were like, nailed it.
Really bad movie.
Very, very, very bad. I would give it like at least double what it has on Rotten Tomatoes. So like a 26 to a 28.
I don't know. See, because 26 to 28 isn't as intriguing. If you see it as 13% on Rotten Tomatoes, you're like, this has to be horrible.
But I would reserve that that low of a ranking for a movie that I would never fucking want to see again.
So I'm more intrigued by a movie in its teens on Rotten Tomatoes than a movie in its 20s to 40s.
I don't know. Like for me, if I see a movie that's
Like
anywhere
if it's 55,
anywhere,
I'm like, ooh, Roman J. Israel Esquire, I'll see this.
but like anywhere close to single digits.
Yeah.
Which 13 is.
Yeah.
That's like, ooh, I got to avoid that movie at all costs.
Oh, disagree. Hard disagree.
Would you watch this movie again?
No.
I would for sure watch this movie
But
again.
the low rank, that's actually true. I don't know why I said no, because I wrote down as I was watching it, I will for sure watch this again.
Because it is entertaining and just like so bad at points that it's more entertaining, and like it's in the category of so bad that it's actually maybe good.
So I would say 7 to 15 is That's the sneaky good range of
Sneaky, like,
Rotten
underrated?
Tomatoes. No, not underrated. That's 7 to 15 is the so let's say 85 to 100 is the you gotta see it range. Then it gets to like pretty good, okay, not very good. Then close to the bottom in 7 to 15, that's a bonus you gotta see it range. That's for different reasons you gotta see it. So I would recommend seeing this movie. It's awful, but I think that you can laugh along with it. And I've kind of been itching for good movies of late because obviously the late summer is not a great time because it's between the bad blockbuster movies and the like the Oscars season movies.
Yeah,
Speaking of which, congratulations to John Legend. He EGOT'd.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Ooh, congratulations to him.
Yes.
What's his Oscar for?
He played the song. He played the song at the Oscars. I forget what movie it was from.
But that doesn't mean he won an Oscar.
But he won an Oscar for that song.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
What's it from?
Was it called Glory? John Legend.
Was that Selma?
Yes.
Okay.
Selma. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Good for
Which
him.
I saw, but I don't remember that song. Yeah.
Yeah, so this movie would not recommend unless you know what you're getting into. And I feel like we knew what
that
we were
was the
getting
big
into.
thing. Yeah. It took me a while to realize what I was getting into, which is not a surprise considering I saw all of the first John Wick without understanding what it was. But as long as you get the joke, even if the movie doesn't get the joke, it's a fun fun movie.
And it is exactly what it advertises itself to be in the trailers, which is not a good movie, a very cliche, very stereotypical revenge movie, but it just stars a woman this time.
Yes, and a big reaction has been Jennifer Garner is the wrong woman for the role. That's what makes it good.
I mean, like it was weird to watch her in that sort of role, but I don't think that she was necessarily like awful or bad or anything. It's just like,
so here's the thing, like a lot of these movies should tell us you don't need a person who fights to be a jacked person, you know?
I
don't know if it's like body type or the types of characters that she usually plays or what, but I mean, if you're making a movie about somebody who goes from a mild-mannered life to disappearance to coming back, like
but you need somebody like Jennifer Garner,
right?
Because
like
the fact that she's the worst, the fact that she's like the
last person
wrong
you suspect,
woman for the role is what is the point of this movie. It's a woman who had like a normal, average life beforehand and then turned into this like killing machine.
Right, exactly. So if you want to see it, see it. I'm sorry that we've spoiled that John Gallagher Jr. is the bad guy, but it's kind of cool. I don't think he's ever played a bad guy before. He's played a bad show, which was The Newsroom, because that show got terrible.
Very bad movie
as
the Belko
time went
experiment.
on. Got to throw in another quick sports thing. Jess Mendoza, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. Everyone hates her.
Yep.
Everyone thinks that she only has her job because she's a woman. I can't speak to that because I don't really care about baseball or baseball coverage.
She's not good.
Everyone is furious because she referred to Fenway Park as a stadium. Hey, guess what, dummies? Fenway Park's a stadium, you idiots.
Is it?
Yes.
How do you find that?
It's a stadium. It's a baseball stadium.
Yeah, I get. Yeah.
But everyone immediately jumped to like, oh, you called it stadium. She didn't call it Fenway Stadium. She said it's a stadium.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it does feel weird to hear it referred to as a stadium. Like I've never even like
I'm
thought
sure
of
I've
it in
referred
that
to it as
capacity.
a stadium. Like if you've gone to Fenway Park for a concert, it's a stadium.
I feel
show.
like it's weird when you refer to like enclosed arenas as stadiums, like
But
hockey,
it's not
like the TD Garden.
right.
Like,
But that's an arena. That's not a stadium.
Exactly. Yeah.
If it's a big place where people play outdoor sports, it's a stadium. I've never heard anybody
Fenway
refute
Fenway Park is not a big place.
Right. So I got in a small argument with somebody. They were like, well, is it big enough to be called a stadium? Then what else would it be if it's not a stadium? It's not just a park. So get off her back for that. Although she did say it when making a really stupid point, which was that there's not a bad seat in Fenway Park.
That is an awful take.
There's like 17 good seats in Fenway.
There's right. There's like not a bad seat at TD Garden.
Yeah.
But like that's because there are no poles in your face. Like there are so many bad seats at Fenway.
A lot of people were at TD Garden this weekend because Drake Drizzy was there.
Yes.
And on Saturday, he brought out Meek Mill, which is crazy, but also not that crazy because I think that Meek Mill probably spends a lot of his time in Boston now because he's best friends with Robert Kraft.
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
that's right.
so weird.
Yeah,
Was he
but
at the Patriots game?
I don't know. But
Probably.
I think like it's more weird that they just like buried the hatchet on stage so randomly.
Not weird at all. You think that so this is my point on that.
Drake can't be an asshole to Meek Mill now.
Drake
obviously,
is the last person. Drake does not want to be the last person that's mean to Meek Mill.
I know. No, I get that, but I think it's more weird that it happened here in Boston and on stage at a show.
Right.
Like
couldn't have waited for Philly.
I would have expected that they would bury the hatchet like on like a public, like more of a public sort of forum at like an award show or something like that.
I think that it's cool though. That's why
I don't think it's not cool.
Yeah,
I was surprised that it happened here and in the way that it happened.
But I like that it happened in an unexpected way because that's the magic of concerts. Like,
like some days you just
like
go
when
to a
Nas
show.
brought out DMX like a year ago in Boston.
When
Hilarious.
Stevie Wonder took 40 minutes to announce the death of John Lennon.
You don't. Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get. You're like,
right.
oh, where's he going? Where's he going? What's he gonna say? Still don't know what he said. Oh, Lennon's dead. Guys, don't tweet about it. Don't joke.
Did I tell you about my idea for the Peppermint sequel?
No.
It is Jennifer Garner having to drive Ben Affleck to the drive-thru after he's had way too many peppermint schnapps.
I don't get that.
Because Ben Affleck's an alcoholic and it's peppermint.
Is he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's in rehab now.
Really?
Yeah. And Jennifer Garner had to drive him to the drive-thru. She took him to rehab like a couple weeks ago, and like on the way there, he was a complete mess, and they had to stop at Jack in the Box to get him some food because he was just like losing it.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
Yeah. And that was my joke about it.
I'm not shaming you for that. I'm just realizing that, and that's...
He looked fucking terrible.
How did I not know this?
I don't know, man. Look it up.